Water reaches you even in space. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different, and Enterprise Life on times claims payments. Enterprise, your advantage. Now, are you tired of using a garden hose to water your lawn every time? Are you tired of your brown lawn? Stay green with InGreen. Enjoy a 25% discount on all automatic lawn irrigation materials from April to June 2019. Call us on 0302 819 000. InGreen is another quality solution from Interplast, and with Interplast, wherever you are, we make sure water reaches you, even in space. Now, it's now easier and convenient to own that electronic appliance and that furniture you have been dreaming of this year. First Atlantic Bank is giving you an interest-free loan up to 40,000 Ghana cedis to deck out your home with your choice item without hassle. Visit any First Atlantic Bank branch nationwide today and the following partner outlets: TCL, Somo Vision, Sinbins Furniture, Novotech, Electroland, Ghana, Macland, and give your home the upgrade you deserve. For further information, please call us on 030-268-2203 or 4 or 030-268-0825 or 6. Buy now, pay later at no interest. Kindly note that terms and conditions apply. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Good morning, Raymond. Good morning, Malik.
Good morning.
And should I say a happy Mother's Day in advance to the ladies who brought you, the two of you, into this world? I'm very, very grateful to the two of them. I mean, I don't know what my life would have been without Raymond's loud, thundering good morning.
Raymond,
and Malik.
don't say what you are thinking. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Thank you for giving me this
Malik,
advice
my
this
brother in
morning.
glasses, I must say. I'm very grateful for your life. Yeah. Oh, but it's the birthday of Pastor Kojo Frimpong, host of Joy Time and His Presence.
Yes.
And Selwyn Ofori of our social media team is also celebrating his birthday.
And Anima is
today.
enjoying the cake.
Is that why he's wearing white?
Sitting right behind me.
Yes. I'm also enjoying the champagne. Non-alcoholic. Non-alcoholic.
You know that there is a strong belief there can be non-alcoholic champagne because it will just be grape juice.
Okay,
for
then-
it
then
to
I'm
qualify
drinking-
to be champagne.
Then I'm drinking grape juice in a
With
champagne
this,
bottle.
with this bottle you are holding, how can you convince my mom is non-alcoholic?
Okay, let's do the front pages now.
The
guys.
Gold Trade business has non-traditional export contribution to total export declines as GEPA deploys capacity funding mechanisms for medium small scale enterprises. Looming revenue loss under AFCTFA, that's a very long one, tackled member countries establish adjustment mechanisms. Back page of the Gold Trade business, Abdulaziz Dia joins the group board of directors of UBA and Stanbic Bank rules out Achiever banking scheme.
Now, the Ghanaian Observer is reporting this morning on the front page, and Egbert Fable is there. Petroleum Commission rules Ghanaians in diaspora into upstream petroleum industry. Nooks meets finance minister over students' loan. Then there's one on fishermen agree to observe closed season. Then NCA shuts down unauthorized, in quote, Radio Gold XYZ as authority enforces tribunal ruling against illegal spectrum users. And being harassed is also on the front page of their particular paper.
The New Crusading Guide newspaper has Canada Japan suffers another blow over announced defamation suit. Tokyo 2020 GOC attempt to blame poor performance on why journalists were denied accreditation. Unfortunate as Erasmus Kwao. Fishermen agree to observe May 15th to June 15th close season. Those are the stories. A minority demand of tax waivers hogwash.
And now the Daily Guide is reporting this morning. Otunfo remembers May 9 victims. It's a witch hunt. NDC dares CID over Ofosu Ampofo. Now NCA closes radio station. It's also on the front page here. Aisha sister jumps bail. You know Aisha sister?
Helena.
Yes, Helena up north. The Rosewood.
So why is Aisha Wang is doing gold?
Yes.
And Helena Wang is doing
Rosewood. Yes, I'm told that she actually have not been honoring her bail bond. Instead of reporting, she didn't report to the police. So there's a suspicion that she jumped bail.
Amazing. The Chronicle newspaper has that NDC story here. Defiant NDC chair defies CID. Machine grinds worker to pulp. It's a sad one there. Pidgin English will ruin our education. Let's stop it now. And the Radio Gold XYZ closure is also here.
Now, from Pidgin English, let's do something that's related to banks. Now, the O24 has been urging Consolidated Bank to help grow the agri sector. And there's a case involving Gall and 4 others, which has been adjourned because the attorney has traveled abroad. ENI announces new discovery in CTP Block 4. Offshore Ghana. Those are the stories on the front page of the Find Out this morning.
The Daily Statesman newspaper stories, we have virtually done all of them. You need to get up and go through it again. That's in an exclusive interview with Isaac Dogbe on the eve of the big fight. Those are the stories here.
Now, the Herald is reporting this morning Energy Minister and others to face jail terms. That's according to ex-GMPC boss. This is Alex Mode. And there's one about Akufo-Addo shutting down XYZ Radio Gold after recording low press freedom rating. That is on the front page of the Herald too.
The Daily Graphic newspaper, Special Prosecutor quizzes Bisu Owusu. They are mentioned in an Access Galamsey documentary. We know this. NCA shutdown Radio Gold is here. NDC cries foul is also here. ENI discovers new oil. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Ghana exports increase. Accused persons in Aguna Swedro assault case agree to compensate victim.
Now, let me start for the back page of the Ghanaian Times because the Ghana Standards Authority has been closing down illegal plastic waste recycling plants and they belong to Chinese, that's for the record. But on the other side, Chief Imam inaugurates 1,500 capacity central mosque at Kokrobite. That's a very huge one there on the back page. To the front page now, government sets up special security agency, and there's one about 27 Kokohe residents arrested for illegally assaulting policeman, and that's on the front page there too.
Now, Raymond, that story which you brought us from the back page of the Ghanaian Times about the closure of some illegal plastic waste recycling plant is where we start. There is this plastic manufacturing company owned by a Chinese. This company ground a factory hand, Francis Kwame Edu, 22 years, ground him to pulp. He died instantly. And this is at Ahuyan Kwanta in the Asante Bekwai municipality. And the gentleman died when he attempted to remove material from the machine. There's this machine which grinds stuff. It's a plastic manufacturing company. The machine grinds stuff. He tried to remove material from it. Then he was dragged into the machine, and then he died instantly. His mother, Mamiama Amiyan, said she was shocked because that morning the gentleman told her that he was going to work and that he would be back, and he never returned. She got information that he had died at work. Now, some residents, some of the employees say that there is serious problem of lack of safety at this factory. Okay. So they want the authorities to make an intervention to ensure that safety mechanisms are put in place to safeguard the workers there. Now, DSP Obim Boateng, he is the Bekwai Municipal Divisional Commander. When he was reached, he simply said that, well, this is an accident. And one would wonder whether investigations have been conducted
before they conclude
whether the complaints of the workers of the company that safety records here is very poor and the standards of safety are very low, and in fact there are no safety systems here, whether those complaints have been investigated to make a determination that this is purely an accident. Yes, it may be an accident, but if there are no safety standards and the person, because the people say they don't even have any safety equipment at all. And the story is that when the gentleman died, when Francis Kwame Edu died, the locals decided that they were going to burn down the factory. That sent the Chinese owner of this factory into hiding.
If you tell me, if the facts of the story as you present them are what we know, then it means this person tried to reach into the machine while the machine was working.
Yes. It was working. It's a grinding machine.
So while the grinding machine is working,
material out of it.
Yes, so there is some culpability in there. But the thing is, so who
he was actually using bare hands trying to remove this material.
Exactly. So who supervises this person? Who asked him to go and get the material?
Who's in charge of quality control?
To get it? I mean, oh my goodness, I'm feeling so uncomfortable. But we'll stay with the plastic sector, Raymond, because we understand some 5 million jobs would have to be lost.
That's according to the plastic manufacturers in Ghana. But before then, I'll tell you about 2 Chinese companies that have been closed down by the Ghana Standards Authority. They are all plastic recycling plants in this case. Okay. The Standards Authorities believe that the first company, which is called Eagles and Wanfeng, is not registered at all and has been operating this particular establishment and be engaging in producing several brands, including Star, Eagle, Best Rubber, Hard Long Ten, and have been operating since 2007. The second one had some registration, but the difficulty with that grouping is that the environmental protection assessment and the safety protocols that ought to be put in place were not there. So the EPA and the Ghana Standards Authority found it prudent to avoid accidents and other things that can happen because they don't actually insist on the best of standards in this case to shut down these two companies. And the understanding is that they have actually picked out the people who are predominantly Chinese and also their workers who are Ghanaians too, to make sure that they are not only safe but to make sure that their leaders are also dealt with. These factories, they are very close to each other. They are at Sakaman, near Dansuman, so right under the nose of the what they call the regional capital, right here. That's where they've been operating with that license since 2007. Let me bring you to the other story in this case. Now, the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association, they said that any outright ban on the use of plastics can lead to the loss of some 5,276,770 jobs, which represents like 18.2% of the entire Ghanaian population. My only difficulty in this case, forgive me, Daniel, is because if you look at the 5 million they're talking about, the Ghana Revenue Authority says that there are about 12 million workers in this country. It sounds impossible to me that 43% of the workers are in the plastic industry.
That's according to the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yes.
So are all these 5 million people formalized? Are they all on the Ghana Revenue Authority?
Not informal, formal and informal, all put together.
Oh.
They are the 12 million.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and this has some backing from even our labor force survey. But if you look clearly at the percentage that's being quoted here, the 5 million are people who are in the industry. Maybe the other, okay, so two things. You can have direct workers. You can have people also in the linkages.
In the value chain.
Yes, in the value chain in this particular case. So maybe that's what is being referenced. But their main claim is that
you have to admit that Ghana has a very large retail economy, and plastics are a big part of that. If you go to the markets today,
again, but you don't call them workers in that particular industry. Yeah. Now, the other claim they are making is that from November 1, 2015, the EPA consistently made sure that all members of the plastic manufacturers conform to the production of Ozo-Bio flexible plastic packaging, which made them incur additional operational costs, almost like 27% of their operational costs. So they are suffering, and the industry is actually been not on the right pedestal. But the interesting part is that when Honorable Minister Mahama Ayariga, then of Environment, told us that a certain 20 microns of our plastic had been banned up to today. You still see it on the market. I don't see the EPA, the GSA, and all the other institutions cracking the whip on or implementing this particular one. And the conversation we've also been told by the current minister is that it looks like an impossibility. Yesterday, the mayor also said, of Accra, of course, it's not going to be possible for us to ban the plastic. It's as if when the whole world is heading in a very positive direction, we are very wonderful in deciding to go the opposite direction. In fact, in this time and age,
and the consequences
are
all around us. Malik, let's go to the NCA's ban, or should I say shutdown.
So from the shutdown of plastics factory, let's go to the shutdown of radio stations and television stations. And this is, we are talking to in Accra, XYZ and Radio Gold. Now, the National Communications Authority yesterday shut down these two stations. Of course, these are NDC-aligned stations, and there is no doubt about that. The NCA says that it was acting in consonance with a decision taken by the telecommunications, the Electronic Communications Tribunal. Now, what happened? In 2017, the NCA engaged in what it called an audit of spectrum. When it audited the spectrum, and we remember very well, a long list of radio stations were issued with huge sums of fines, and these fines were imposed because, according to the NCA, these stations did not comply with the legal requirement to renew their licenses, and therefore these fines were imposed on them. Now, the NCA at its press conference yesterday said that when these fines were imposed, some radio stations which were dissatisfied with the quantum of fines that were imposed on them proceeded to the Electronic Communications Tribunal. Some actually went to the High Court, and the tribunal gave its ruling and said that those stations whose licenses had expired ought to revert to a position as if they did not exist at all, and that if they applied, those applications should be treated as fresh applications, and it would be as if those stations did not exist at all. And those applications could not be construed, according to the tribunal's ruling, as permits or licenses allowing these stations to operate. Now, that being the case, the NCA says these stations, and they cite Radio Gold, for example, and said Radio Gold's license expired 19 years ago and it has been operating. XYZ's license expired 2016, that too has been operating. It is the reason why they closed these stations down, because of non-compliance and non-conformity with provisions of Regulation 65(1) of the Electronic Communications Regulations 2011 LI 1991. Now, we know that when this decision was taken, leaders of the NDC were very upset about it. The chief executive of Radio Gold, James Ajeden Boateng, issued a statement saying that they had made strenuous efforts to get the NCA to give them back their license or to renew their license, and they've made applications upon applications, they made follow-ups upon follow-ups, and the NCA has not responded positively to these efforts that they have made to get their license renewed. And it is in subtle response to these that it says that the NCA quotes the ruling, which says an application cannot be construed to mean that you have a license. So if your license expired, it means you don't have anything at all, you are non-existent. If you reapply, the NCA says it will take you through the same processes that an entirely new application will be taken through.
But
And
are these the only radio stations that fall
the
short?
NCA says there are many other radio stations, and this action will happen, whether in or outside of Accra.
By Accra,
It's just the two of them.
two.
In Accra,
In
it's just
fact,
the two of them.
They
Yeah.
point out that some of the radio stations which failed to meet the requirement voluntarily closed down.
Raymond, let's stay with the NDC
Yes.
speaking to government.
Yes. Now, to the CID specifically in this particular case, you recall that the CID wrote to Samuel Fosuampofu, who is the national chairman of the party, and said that some persons have been picked up for interrogation on two main issues. One, recent kidnapping, and also the fires in the various markets. Now, the understanding we have from that is that that statement they sent to Fosuampofu was to ask him to come and help them do some investigation, because the people they picked up in connection with some of these issues mentioned him. An interesting part is that his lawyers wrote, first the National Communications Officer dictated that they were not going to go. Then other members of the party said, no way, we are not going. Now his lawyers wrote an official letter to the CID indicating clearly that they believe he will not honor he has declined the invitation, will not honor it because the indications they have given to the CID boss is pretty clear that this was an attempt to pass the buck and shift the blame over the increasing inability of the security agencies, including her outfit, to manage and control the failures of security and the governance structures in the country. So they say they are not going. They are also having the backing. Listen, they are also having the backing of the National Council of Elders. That particular group in the NDC, chaired by Alhaji Mahama Idrisu, says not only is Mr. Fosuampofu not going, they are actually talking about other members of the party too. Now, at a press conference, they made it very, very clear that other leading members of the NDC are not going to assist the police and other state agencies in their investigations. I asked Dominic Ayine, who signed that particular letter, whether or not he would reject or resist arrest. He says no, that would not be the advice to him.
Okay.
But so far as it's just an invitation to cooperate, they are not cooperating. Of course,
they
they
can
believe that
decline it.
really there's also a case in court related to some of these matters.
Okay, Malik, however, Charles Bissiou is cooperating with the special prosecutor.
Absolutely. Not only that, he had been before the Criminal Investigations Department, now he's with the Office of Special Prosecutor, and he's there because Anas Armiyao announced, the chief executive of Tiger IPI, which did an investigation and produced a documentary which showed Charles Bissiou and Andy Owusu and others allegedly taking bribes to undermine the fight against illegal mining, sent a petition to the Office of Special Prosecutor asking that these persons be investigated and prosecuted if they are found to have engaged in some corrupt act. So Charles Cromwell, Nana Benyon, the other name,
Onyawanto.
Bissiou, and Andy Owusu were before the special prosecutor. Charles Bissiou was there on May 8th and they also was there yesterday, and they appeared with their lawyers, and they faced a panel of investigators who are looking into this matter. And related to that, you know that Anas brought a defamation suit against Kennedy Agyapong at the High Court because when the number 12 documentary was released, it is alleged by Anas that Kennedy Agyapong made some defamatory statements against him. So he brought this defamation suit against Kennedy Agyapong. Kennedy Agyapong lawyers sought to get Anas himself to come to court to give his witness. So they raised an objection to the person he nominated to represent him in court, but that objection was ruled against yesterday by the High Court.
Okay.
And so the case continues.
With an artist representative. Now, the online news review is where we go now. It's brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest in Goil Good Energy. Make your day productive by relying on quality fuel from Goil, your 3-time CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. Goil Super XP and Diesel XP are additivated to enhance strong engine performance and prolong the lifespan of your vehicle. Above all, you are guaranteed extra quality with our fuel analyzer from our mobile laboratory van. Get your money's worth every day by buying fuel and lubricants from any of Goil's over 360 service stations nationwide and experience good energy. Buy Goil, grow Ghana. Goil, good energy. Goil, Yenara Yedia. Now go light with Zenith Bank and have dinner on us as the Plush African Regent Hotel. Now, isn't that exciting? To enjoy this offer, simply use any MasterCard to make a minimum purchase of 500 Ghana cedis on a Zenith Bank POS as the African Regent Hotel and be rewarded with a free dinner or a discount of 100 Ghana cedis on other meal options. Visit the African Regent Hotel today. Use any MasterCard on a Zenith Bank POS and have dinner on us. Go light with Zenith Bank. Pay light. Zenith Bank in your best interest. We begin on myjoyonline.com. As we always do, interesting headlines here. Amidu starts interrogation of officials cited in Galamsey expose, like Malik brought us details of. Swedru guard 3 others in assault case to pay 10,000 cedi compensation to victim. Chelsea win on penalties to set up Europa League final with Arsenal. So it's going to be an all-English Europa League final and an all-English Premier League final. Interesting coming in from football in Europe. Curfew hours on Tripoli and Saboba renewed. AdomOnline.com. Farmer convicted for stealing fowls. And one more arrested over murder of teacher at Esiakwa. That's the story that we've been following on News Review for the past couple of days.
Yes.
That's Esiakwa Salvation Army Basic
School. Yeah.
All right. And the BBC.com has details of the trade war. U.S. raises tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese goods. And South African election, ANC leads as votes counted. They have 57% of the ballot so far. That's in 70% of the districts that have been declared.
Daniel, let me just say good morning to Theresa Jesse Enchi. She's at MPA, and Anil Sabute goes to her office every evening to play mischief.
Okay, so Theresa Jesse Enchi.
Good morning. Yes.
Enchi, rather. Good morning.
And now she's coming up, ardent listener of Super Morning Show.
Thank you very much.
Listener. Yes.
Thank you very much. Coming up on the Super Morning Show today.
Actually, I did my tummy, my midsections, and my back folds, and then a little bit of my arms, and yes,
That's a lot more coming up on the Super Morning Show. We'll take these messages. We'll be right back.
Good energy powers the things that people do to empower themselves. It fuels families, communities, businesses.